We are back with the girls, the originals.
Yes.
Mara and Millie and Chella.
We're missing Sean.
We're missing Sean. Sean is otherwise engaged, but she's still going to probably pop her head in every now and then. But, you know, she is a up-and-coming artist, as you know. So she is very busy.
There's pictures on the gram.
Yeah. So we're back with a really exciting, what I think, topic today. And it's one that probably most people can relate to. Which
Universal.
It's universal, it's international, everyone can relate to it. But it's all about dating, relationships, breakups, you know how it goes.
And that's why we're laughing, because it's just comical, right?
Literally.
Like, it can be comical.
If everybody was to look at my dating history, it's probably pretty funny. And some of the experiences that I've had, people probably can relate to quite a lot. Yeah. Millie is obviously our single gal on the pod, and Mara as well. So, but we've all been there where you have these like horrendous experiences, and it's not all horrendous. Like I've had some good dates. I've had some dates where I've stayed friends with people after, but like it's not gone any further. You know,
we know
you've established that you're at that friend point very early on.
Yeah.
But we did do a little bit of experimentation both before the podcast.
Yeah.
Millie got herself on Tinder.
Oh my god.
To see what is out there.
We're going
to dive straight in.
Straight in.
I think it's funny.
Okay, so obviously...
Let me just start. So I did a little bit of...
You do the poll.
A poll. So we love a poll now on the podcast because it's nice to see what everybody
just to start
thinks.
this off though, cheers.
Oh yeah, cheers girls.
Cheers. Let's get this going.
That bit right.
Yeah. Let's get drunk before we start because it's very important.
On our hooch.
Yeah. So...
Sponsored by hooch.
Oh yeah, sponsored by Hooch today.
Stop it.
So, the first question I asked was, are you on dating apps or would you be on dating apps if you were single? 65% of people said, not for me. And I sit very much in that category of not for me.
I feel like, obviously, I think everyone would rather say they would rather it be organic to meet someone, or if that they already knew someone and then maybe they messaged that person on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the situation is. People say, our
camera couple behind the camera today are Ned's Music and Chloe Bain. So yeah, like you say, I think meeting people on social media is quite common.
Yeah.
Dating apps is a thing, like you say, in normal times, it would be better to meet someone either out or, like you say, already know somebody. But 100%. COVID has thrown us into
even my dad. It was so funny. We saw my dad yesterday. He was like, "You need to meet your guy in the library." I'm like, "Not in Swindon's library, babe. Not in Swindon's library."
Let me tell you something. I used to work with homeless people, and they spend a lot of their time in the library.
I was saying that
because that's their only means. Like,
I do feel like we live in a generation now where we get our food from our phone. We get literally our clothes from our phone, and
shopping.
We can now get a boyfriend or sex from our phone now.
Yeah.
That's like pretty spot on, really, if we're going to be quite honest about it in that aspect.
So how has it gone? Like, have you met any normal people on there? Because if I'm honest, I spent about 10 hours on Tinder, and people I met on there were wild.
No,
they're just wild.
I just can't
there's a couple of guys that I feel like cool. I matched with them on Tinder. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily meet these kind of people if I just had them on my Facebook and if I just saw them in the street and that. So there's one guy. Seemed really cool. He had like gym wear on, so I matched him. Turned out he likes to do cosplay, so he likes to dress up as a Viking.
An actual Viking on the weekends. Does he have a different name?
Games of Four.
Yeah, does he have a game name?
Yeah.
No, I can't say it, guys. That's too much. That's too much.
But he genuinely does have one.
Yeah,
he
does got one, and he's got a bit of following on Instagram.
Oh, so he's got
but he's really outspoken. He's got a lot to say. He's outgoing, got some depth to him. He's polite and interesting.
And everyone's got their thing, right?
Yeah. And like, I just think like, well, if you're a nice enough guy, like he was offering to take me out for drinks and dinner, and I'm like, well, that's obviously a good thing straight away. Like, why would I judge him just because he does a bit of cosplay?
Yeah.
Like, I want to go on a date and be an elf. I'm sorry, but I would rather that than just be like, oh yeah, can you come round just for like Netflix and chill?
Yeah, 100%.
That was one of my
outside the
questions.
box.
Yeah, next poll.
One of my questions was, let me just find it. So it was, why can't I find it? Oh, okay. No, what is wrong with me? What is going on?
While she's trying to find it, should I talk about the other ones?
Yeah, go for it.
I matched up with a builder. He didn't just blatantly say it, but he was clearly on there for sex, because I was trying to be like, well, I don't give my number out. I don't really like...
So do you find that guys will ask for your number like straight away?
Yeah, and I think it's weird. I would rather talk for a little bit, and then when you get some kind of common ground where you're like, cool, this person's all right, then I feel more comfortable giving them my number. And there's such a good reason for that. I just think because of safety and stuff like that, you shouldn't just be giving out your number immediately to people.
That's the whole point of the app.
It's too easily accessible to you then as well.
I think what happens is people get annoyed when they're on Tinder because you have to go in the app to then talk to someone. Yes. I get it, but if you really want to talk to somebody,
exactly. If you're gonna give me a number, you'd have to open WhatsApp or iMessage or whatever.
This is the thing. I think it's a mental thing, isn't it? Oh, I have to open up Tinder. Like WhatsApp's easier. It's the same thing.
It's not easier. It's just, you literally click a different button. Like that's not.
You would think. Honestly, I get this all the time. That people think it's easy. They just think WhatsApp's more convenient. But what it is because they feel entitled. More like, okay, cool. I'm on. Yeah, you're on my WhatsApp.
That person's number.
Yeah,
I need to talk to them in that way.
It's like an ownership, not ownership, but it's like they feel.
It's just another
easy access.
Avenue of access,
it's easy access, isn't it?
Like they can call you whenever.
So I had a builder, and he just clearly wanted sex, but not actually saying it. He was just like, "Oh yeah, let's take away around yours," and I was like, "What the no?"
And this is the thing. So the poll was, does someone have to take you on a date the first time you date them, or like a date has to be arranged, or is Netflix and chill fine? And it was literally 45% or 55%. So it was like split between people thinking it was fine, and like. It's difficult for me because I think some people do feel more comfortable if it's a lot more chill, so just Netflix and chill or just chilling at someone's house.
Some people can get a bit shy, I think, and they just think that's like
because like dinner or something is quite intimidating. If you're self-conscious or you're insecure, going and sitting across the table from someone and eating in front of them is probably quite difficult for some people. But from my point of view, I always look at it as safety. Like, you think I'm going to someone's house that I've never met before. And you think I'm inviting them into my house if I've never met them before.
And I find it very odd when then they're the ones suggesting it. So they're the ones suggesting to come round to your house or something like that. I find that very strange.
I think if you do just want sex, then Netflix and chill is fine. But if you don't
say it's
want
like dependent on the situation.
Yeah, if you don't want sex though, if you genuinely are looking for like love and you're looking for someone to date, then personally, I wouldn't be saying yes to Netflix
though, even if it's for that.
But for safety purposes,
for me,
the first time you meet someone,
just to, unless you already know who they are, it doesn't always mean that it's safe if you already know who they are. But you're going to invite them into your space. Not only that, they know where you live.
Exactly.
Or you go to their house and you don't know how to get out. They might lock the door. Like I don't know. I'm proper extra when it comes to things like that.
No, but
we've all been in situations before where you just think I'm not safe here, and I don't want to put myself in that situation. No way.
You would feel like that.
So I would always say, even if it's to go for a walk or somewhere that's public,
it could be like it doesn't have to be expensive if you just want to maybe have sex.
Exactly.
You could literally just do the cheaper option then.
It's not got to be a full blown date. Yeah. Like, and I think I probably changed the wording on my phone. I put wine and dine me, or Netflix and chill is fine, but I don't necessarily mean you have to take me out and spend loads of money on me. I just mean to say you have to be making some effort before you think that I'm gonna have sex with you or I'm gonna like see you. It just for me, you have to show that bit of effort.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. So yeah, this builder guy was like trying to make hints like, oh yeah, I just want to see like. I need a massage and stuff. And I was like, what? Like, why would you even say that to someone you've been speaking to for like a day?
This is the thing.
Like, it's
I really need a massage.
So I just said to him straight, I was like, look, I am a fucking grown woman. I don't roll with this. I don't just talk to someone straight away like in that way. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, just don't bother speaking to me. There's plenty of efficiency. And you know what, he ignored me, so it goes to show that then obviously that's what he was looking for. However, I will commend that at least he's, even though he didn't actually say anything, at least he was honest and left
the situation rather
because
sometimes they can go a bit nasty, can't they?
It's not, they can go nasty, which as one guy I'll talk about, or they will be like, oh no, I do want to get to know, and then they will just try to get with you, and then they like
and still try it in that aspect.
Not that that's really happened to me, but it has happened to other people. I think every girl has, I think, got some kind of story, don't they, where a guy...
It was like Sian was saying, wasn't she? So we spoke to Sian about this before, and she was saying that she was talking to somebody, and he was making really like strong sexual references really early on, and she was like, I don't feel comfortable to get into that kind of conversation with you yet, I don't know you well enough. And then he come back and was like, well, if you don't want to talk about that, I don't want to talk about my career, my family, where I live, like all of this other stuff. And then it's not the same.
Her response was perfect. Shall we talk about the weather?
Yeah. Like, what else are we going to talk about then?
Literally.
And like that's the entitlement. Like just because you're talking to me on Tinder or any other platform, what makes you think that I want to talk about sex with you before I feel comfortable to you? That's up to me when I want to be ready to do that.
What scares me is the fact that how much people switch.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like you're talking to them absolutely fine, and then the second they don't like something, and you'll say no, or I'm not free, or something like that.
Considering you haven't even met them yet, and like they're showing their true colours straight away, which I guess is a blessing in disguise, because then you just know, if you're smart enough to know that's a red flag, you then know, okay, I'm not going to continue talking to you and getting to know you if you're literally showing me this sign very early on. Like you just got to take that. And it's that saying that people show you who they are, believe it.
Yeah,
100%.
Like, so when they show you that bad side to them straight away, don't then think it's mysterious and
don't
that
ignore
it's
the red flags, guys. We've done it.
It's not a one-off. Okay.
Yeah, like this will happen anymore. Should I keep going on?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
There's like 3 more. So there was a pilot I matched with, and he was quite good looking.
Pilot.
And So I just thought, pilot.
Oh,
I like a pilot.
He could have worked for EasyJet, guys, or Ryanair. You're less money than I am, bro. He can fly a plane, but he works for Ryanair.
I'm gonna lie, I've never met a pilot, so
have you not? Oh, that's pilot, cool. Like it's a cool job, isn't it? But he clearly wanted sex as well. But he was boring. It wasn't even like he was interesting.
Like not
to
even
talk
nice
to.
Conversation.
Like it wasn't even like he was like trying to put in any effort, and I was like, okay, unmatched. that was that basically.
Yeah.
Like he was just boring.
That's
like
you're a pilot. Some
conversation. Like you're a pilot. Like not to stereotype people, but I just thought
there should be some
type of conversation, like flowing conversation. He was just boring.
Surely you've got something to talk about. You fly a plane.
Yeah.
On the day.
That's a big thing, I think. Like flying in the sky and all that. Mile High Club. Like what is this
flying in the sky?
He was just talking about sex. I think he would have been.
Maybe he wasn't even a pilot though. This is the thing. How do you ever know
they're
even real? What they're saying?
How do you know whether what they're saying
I'm a fucking
is the
Victoria's
actual
Secret model? Like I'm not, obviously.
Yeah. So Instagram, anything. Yeah. Like you just don't know.
I do think,
the only reason why I say that is
Tinder is based on pictures, and you get to like create a little bit of a bio and everything, and then like people don't show like.
Cringes me out when people put shitty things in their bio.
Oh, like, stop it! Like when people are like, no time wasters, like caps.
They literally spend most of their time googling what to put in their Tinder bio, and it's like something really
you can tell it's very generic,
cliche or like so
I
cringy. Like,
find a lot of people they copy each other's bios. Like I think the pilot's bio actually was
stop.
I fly planes.
Like if you don't look like your profile picture, we're gonna drink until you do. And I saw it in a girl's. I saw it. I have it for men and girls, and I saw it in a girl's profile. So I'm just like, this is obviously some line then that people use.
Yeah,
that is. Yeah. No, that's not okay. Sorry, but that's just not okay.
I thought it's not okay. I thought it was funny though. No, because like some people really bless some people because some people.
I'm feeling sorry for the people on Tinder.
Some people really want a relationship and they genuinely put everything that they want.
Like their list.
Yeah, like a list.
That was a question I asked. Do you have a list?
Yeah.
I've got a list. But I don't put it on Tinder.
You wouldn't, you wouldn't put it somewhere, would you?
No, it's a mental list.
Mm-hmm. So when I say list, I mean like a list of things that they have. Yeah, like a checklist that they have to meet before you date them. So if you start talking to someone then, Mills, and they hit, I don't know how many things are on your list. Would you know off the top of your head, or a rough number?
Good job, drive, like, do you have a mortgage? Like, they don't necessarily have to have a mortgage, but, like, do you, like...
So, if they don't tick those... So, say if you meet someone and you really like them and they don't tick those boxes, are they off? Because some people I know are very like, if you don't do,
just like no, they don't fit into that.
They've not ticked this box, so I'm so next.
I want to say I would be more on feeling, but at the same time, like I think when you've had certain bad relationships,
this is the thing,
and you've already got that behind you.
Being at the age of 30, I am quite strict with my list.
Yeah.
Like I am quite strict.
As we get older, we just don't have the time for
just because you might tick things on the list, it doesn't mean you're a great person. Because I've dated guys and they're not all that. So it's just like, then do you then go back to the drawing board a little bit, and but then it's like being at 30 and no kids and stuff. Do you want to?
Do you want to waste your time?
Yeah, it is quite hard, but I do try to stick to my list.
I didn't, obviously I'm in a relationship now, but beforehand I didn't have a list, but I definitely had a list of things that I do not want or things I would not accept. Okay. So from previous relationships, whatever, as soon as I saw a red flag for something, like they can't handle their drink, or they are, there's certain things that I just think this isn't going to change. Right. So if they're bad with their drink, that's not going to change. It's just going to get worse as you get more comfortable. Yeah. Or if they're not financially set, that again, that I'm not your mum and I'm not your keeper.
I ain't your bank account.
I'm not your bank account. Yeah. And like, so that is like, if you're not financially set, and I'm not saying you've got to be loaded, but you have to be stable.
I feel like
funding your shit.
I feel like when we were younger, we dated guys, like I think every girl has, we dated a guy who is a bit like bad with their money and stuff, and then 100%. We loved them, so then we were just like, oh, here, I'll give you $5 or
$10. And at the same time, like I know I've been bad with money in the past.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not saying I haven't.
There are certain things where like, as much as like I want to be fussy, there's certain things that I've done as well in my past where I'm just like, actually, I'm a bit of a hypocrite if I say that.
In the past. So I've been bad with money in the past, 100%. Like we've all been there. Like I went travelling and blew loads of, Mitchell's laughing behind the camera. Like I used to be awful with money, but now I'm a big woman. Like
you have your own place.
I have my own place. We're getting a mortgage. Like all of these things, I can't be affording to be blowing my money like I used to when I was 18.
And this is the thing, I've got a mortgage, so I don't really want to date people. Not that they have to have a mortgage, but I don't want to date someone who has got a credit rating, guys. You've got to have a credit rating to the point, if I'm going to be settling down with you, you need to have a credit rating that matches mine. And mine was bad for a very long time.
Yeah, but you worked at it.
The point is, you have to work at these things to get them better. And trust me, I had the best time when I was younger. I've been to so many countries. I've lived the best life.
Yeah.
But now shit gets real, and you have to live a real, like a legit life.
And like, speaking of the list, does anyone have anything that's like vain on the list, like they have to look a certain way or anything like that?
They'd have to be taller than me, I think. I'm a tall girl.
Height is such a big thing on Tinder. Guys put in their bio, I'm 5'11" or I'm 6'2" or whatever.
Yeah, like I'm only 5'10", so I can't be dating someone who's 5'7". Like, I'm never wearing heels. What do you mean?
5'8", yeah, I can't do them.
There was another guy that I matched with, and he was really lovely, and he wanted to do like paddleboarding for like first date and that. He seemed like a bit of a user and that.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so this is where it became not so cute.
It's way too soon.
So I did give him my number because I thought, he is so lovely and we're having really good long
He broke the first barrier, so congratulations.
Yeah, he broke the first barrier, the scaffolder. He did a nice job, and he had his own place and he didn't have no kids, and I thought, this is really good. He sent me a voice note. So this is like, we're talking that still. He sent me a voice note. And his voice was really high.
What do you mean? What, like high pitched?
It was like Michael Jackson, like Dirty Diana.
And it gave you the ick.
Gave me a bit of the ick. I expected him to sound like Danny Dyer, and he just sounded like the opposite.
No, please, can you do an imitation?
It was just like, what did he say again? I thought, I'm sure he's never going to find this, but what did he say?
This is my voice.
No! I don't even have to do an impression. That's what he sounded like.
My voice.
He was like, my tired voice.
No, sorry. No.
But you know what?
But like, I messaged him straight away. Like I expected you to sound like Danny Dyer, and you don't. So I had to block him. No, that's horrible.
What's up?
Horrible.
Like, just, sorry, I expected you to sound like Danny Dyer, and you didn't. Bye-bye. Thank you.
I know it's horrible, but like, I just couldn't do it.
Once you get the ick, though, there's just no coming back. Like, there's certain things that just give me the ick, and like, I was seeing this boy once, and all he did was touch his face, like touching his nose and touching his face, and like, But it was just like, why are you doing that? Like, it's making me feel
like, what if he didn't wash his hands and he's touching his
But then he's
face
just like touching his nose. And like, is your nose running? Do you need a tissue? Like, why are you touching your nose so much? And I remember saying to him, like, why do you keep touching your face? And he was like, oh, I don't know, am I? And I was like, you don't even know you are? Like, you don't even realise? But then after that, I was just like, you've given me the ick now. Like, and you just get that feeling. And then they start texting you all the time and you just think like, no, I just don't want to. No. You have to let them down gently. So the reason I don't like you is because you touch your face.
Literally, last guy. So you've mentioned obviously this is the last experiment guy. Okay, yes. So he was a sales manager again. He was really lovely. And he had good job, he seemed like he had good money and stuff, like just from his job title and that. So I just thought, okay, like
search his salary on LinkedIn.
Babe, that's totally a thing. I completely do that. 100%. I know it sounds bad. No, but I'm sorry, but I'm 30 years old. I have a mortgage. Like, I'm not wasting my time. Like, no time wasters. But like, basically, so I gave him my number. He was like, oh, I know it's a bit forward, but would you like to on Saturday go for dinner and drinks? I said, oh, it sounds really lovely, but I'm not gonna lie, I just want the Saturday to myself because next few weekends I'm actually busy, but we'll maybe do something in July. Bearing in mind, I think you should get to know someone and stuff. And he seemed okay with it, and so I told him no. So the next day, I said, oh yeah, I'm meeting my friend because she's a bit upset and stuff. And he was like, oh, you could have told me, you're flaky.
Sorry? Are you my mum?
And he was just...
I was the friend too.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, you've let me down, and the fact that I can't see you for 2 weeks, like, it's just really...
Are you my friend?
And that's how he said it as well. Like, he genuinely...
For a little while.
And he was like, you've let me down.
That's gross. Get out. And
I had to voice note him, being like, just to clarify, we didn't actually agree to meet up, but you can take care, boo.
Just to clarify, get the fuck out of my DMs.
And I did block him, yes.
Yeah, good.
Just straight away, like, talking to you for a little bit, I felt comfortable enough to give you my number. And then,
but like, talk for a little bit before you then go on a date.
We had like a phone call and everything, and like
really?
No, but he was really lovely. And then but then
he just switched.
Then he just went like that, and so
this is what I mean about people switching, because you don't know them. You don't know, like, you don't really know who they are. Or...
So the fact that he was like that straight away, and I didn't even agree to meet up with him, is like weird, right? So imagine if he has a girlfriend, and how is he going to talk to her when then she does something he doesn't like?
This is the thing, you never truly really know someone. It's like when you can be with someone for years and be in a relationship with them, you can live with them, and then as soon as you break up, it's like,
they're a different person.
Who the hell are you?
And then imagine
how have you hidden this? The mask
this whole time
falls off, and you're just
in beginning of relationships though, people, not everyone, but some people are putting on their best performance the first 3 months.
Everyone does to a certain extent, I think.
For sure.
I get that. I get that maybe for the first couple months, but after years and stuff, you'd be like,
it is mad, isn't it? And then on Tinder, people can easily lie on Tinder.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because I found there's a lot of people who are like builders and stuff, and they might be from up north, but then they're actually doing work in Swindon, for example, and then they
just want to get quick,
right? So like, there's people like you just got to suss out what's going on. Like you just got to be like, oh, where do you work? Oh, but I live here, but I do that. You just got to suss out what they're trying to do.
I have one story. So
Mara,
no, not as in like I have a story myself, because I will not go on dating apps. I just can't do it. I just can't. I'd probably be really ruthless.
This is the thing. I just got no time for it
because I don't know.
They slide
in
with
ruthless.
These like really cringy like one-liners, and it just already I've got.
I think with single people in COVID, it has helped.
100%.
This is the first year I've been single in like years, and admittedly I've had used Tinder. I've never used it before.
You wouldn't.
Was never interested, but because of COVID and stuff, it has been a bit of a gateway for some people. Yeah, admittedly, some people have used it for an ego rub, and I have used it for an ego rub sometimes. Like
sometimes it's necessary after a breakup when you're feeling. If it depends on kind of what breakup you had. And
it's a little bit of an ego boost as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
right. Someone's tell you that you're pretty.
Right, so my client that I had today, she was just filling me in on a couple of little bits. But she said that it's actually her friend's mum. So she decided to go on like Tinder for the first time and stuff. And she was doing fine. She was talking to some guys, and then she went on a date with this guy. And then afterwards, he completely ghosted her. And she's thinking, like, what the hell's gone on? Like, why is he not talking to me? This, that, and the other. So she, like, Facebooked him in that and started doing her little stalking. Like, she just wanted to at least just kind of, like, figure out, like, maybe he's got a girlfriend or something like that. No. So she has a mixed race daughter, and then she found bare racist shit all over his Facebook. And I was like, that's the type of shit that would scare the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that is scary.
Going talking to someone on like a dating app or something, and then being like, I don't know, like proper anti-black. Like, do you know what I mean?
Imagine.
And then, could you
Because
imagine?
he might be having a kick of like just matching with mixed.
Yeah. I don't know. You just don't know
Some
what the thing is
people are
out there. And I just
ill.
thought to myself, like, oh, like he obviously thought she was just a white woman, like didn't think anything of
But
it.
how
She
can
actually
he
had a
not-
mixed race
But
child.
how can,
So
I understand that the woman's not said anything, but then how can he not think that could happen?
he just completely ghosted her. Like she was calling him and stuff like that.
That is
And he
wild.
just
So he must have
he
figured-
actually ghosted her.
Oh,
So that's
so
the
he
only
must have figured
reason
that
why she looked on his profile and stuff was because she was like, why is he not talking to me? Like I just don't know, like understand.
And that's probably why then.
I was like,
God.
grass.
That is
Like
ew.
that's mental, isn't it? Then you'd be like a bit icked out after.
See, that's the nasty side of Tinder then, really. When you don't know if you're going to pair up with bloody racist.
Yes, my friend that I used to work with, she like met this guy on Tinder. They were talking for quite a bit. They had like long phone calls and stuff. They'd been and met and gone for a long walk and everything. And she was like, "Oh, he's
And this
really
is
nice."
all the positive signs of what you
Yeah.
think is to be something
It's
healthy
like-
and
yeah,
consistent.
and she
And
was
it's
like
going in
really,
a
and they
positive
got on really
direction.
well. And she said like, she's quite a strong Liverpool fan, and I don't know much about football, even though I'm made to watch it all the time. I don't really pay attention. Yeah. But he was like a different supporter. I want to say like Manchester United or something like that.
Okay, right.
Anyway, they.
Oh God, football.
It was Manchester United because there was like riots
God
outside
forbid.
the stadium or something. Is it Man City or Man United? But there's Man United, yeah. So there was riots and stuff outside the stadium.
Yeah.
And when all this was happening, she basically said to him like, I think this is a bit too far. Like it's football. Like the people are being hurt and harmed and stuff like this. And he switched and was like, oh, you can tell that you're a Liverpool supporter, you fucking bitch. Like, literally went hard. And she was like literally calling her all these names and stuff. And she was like, what the hell? But that's the thing, you just don't know. Like, some things will trigger people.
Yeah.
And imagine,
True.
they could have been like dating for 6 months until that conversation come up. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, that's a deal breaker.
Like,
For some people, it's football. Like, that is mad,
like,
isn't it?
Come on, is football really that deep?
That's what I mean.
Is it actually that deep?
It's so deep.
Oh,
Yeah, but this is the
For
thing.
some people, innit? Like, for
Yeah.
Some people,
It's like their life, isn't it?
I've seen people
They
cry.
eat, sleep,
I've seen
and
people
breathe
cry
like
at
football.
football matches.
hours and all sorts. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people crying
Yeah,
and
I've
stuff
seen
over like
people
football
cry.
matches and that. I'm just
See, like people
it's
statuses where they're like
football.
cussing each other over football and that, like it's actually like they're friends or something, but it's just like football.
Are you getting paid? Are you getting paid to play? Because when people go, my club, sorry, have you got investment in that club? Are you getting paid
Do
from
you know
that
what I
club?
mean?
Like, some people are more loyal to their football club
Then they are
To their
girlfriend.
You're right, you know. You're
It's
right.
so true.
Wouldn't miss a game or anything like that, but would miss an anniversary.
I said to someone the other day, I won't say who, but I said to him, like, who do you love more, your missus or your football team? And he said,
Oh my god, yeah, you don't even need to hesitate.
That is wild.
Wow.
but bear in mind, like, he's like football, he's like, you know what I mean, like, football's always been my love, like, since.
No, but I get that, but then you find new loves, right? You find new,
I can't
like...
say-
To actually
Ever had-
to be like confused what how to answer.
Wow.
That is absolutely insane. So, have you got any really bad first date experiences or dating experience where you've actually we've passed the getting to know someone or meeting them on an app or social media or
I
whatever?
can't say that I have, you know.
This was quite hard for me
Personally
to
for
think
me-
of because I'm sure there is, but I just was genuinely trying to pull it
can't
out of the
think of
memory
it,
bank
yeah.
and I couldn't find
I feel like
anything.
when I was younger, I've been in like I feel like I've constantly been in like long-term relationships.
Yeah, I
and
get
they've
that.
never
Similar,
really like started out with like bad dates. They've always ended up like being okay-ish, and then I
Yeah.
ended up being in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever had like a bad date with someone that I didn't end up with.
Yeah.
Like
If that makes sense.
the only things I could think of, and this is more of just the actual date was bad, not that the company was bad, but I gave him like heartburn for making cocktails.
I gave him a bad
I
experience.
was gagging for a Gaviscon, like.
I literally didn't have any Gaviscon and he was asking, I didn't have any. He had to go.
Oh, what? Stop it! You
I
have
was
to actually
I
leave.
mixed two Calypsos together and it was that what's that vodka called with the gold bottle?
Smirnoff
Yeah,
Gold.
EU vodka.
Oh,
and then
sorry,
so
yeah.
I thought, all these like blue flavours and that, like, and two fruit punch and all was
Bare
blue.
sugar, she gave him a heart attack, like, oh, sorry, I've got
So
to
that
go,
was
don't
like a bad
inspire
actual
us.
date, but he was good company. And then
It just something bad happened on it.
yeah, and then the other thing that happened that I feel bad because this is my ex-boyfriend, but he had a thing with not wanting to pay on dates. Like he wanted me to pay like my bit all the time, and
Like, real big red flag there,
yeah,
no.
I honestly, it was so
It'd be like when
embarrassing.
we
I used
out
to,
in public,
I
innit?
used to say to him like, look, it used to be such a battle. Like I would say to him like, look, we're going out for a nice meal. You're paying. Like I'll get the food.
I'll transfer when you get home if you already want to, but don't be
Stop it. This is what
that's
literally he
I
went
remember
to
this.
we were at, like, it was like Minoricata or somewhere like that, and then we were with all his family, and obviously all the other guys were paying for their misses and that, but no, not my guy. Like it was just literally like he whispered in my ear like, oh, I don't think I haven't. It was so embarrassing.
He didn't have
It
enough.
was so
He
embarrassing.
didn't have enough, Chelsea.
So embarrassing.
Shall I tell you a
didn't have
story?
enough.
I went to
And the thing is, right, honestly, everyone else though, I make them pay, but it was just this one particular boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. He was just a bit stubborn when it came to that, and I don't. The thing is, he's taken me on holiday and paid for that and stuff. So it's not like he would never. It wasn't like he constantly.
That's crazy.
I know. So it wasn't like he was constantly never paying for me. I just think he just had a bit of an issue with money and just.
I
And
remember
obviously
going on
when
a
you were
date
in
to
love, it's just
Nando's,
like-
which wasn't really a date. Like I was
Yeah.
seeing this person, so it wasn't really like we're gonna get dressed up and go for a date. We went to Nando's. And we sat at the table and he's like, should we go up and order? So I was like, okay, we can go up together if you
well.
want. Like that's fine. Anyway, so we were like at the counter and she's like, next please. So I step forward and I'm like, yeah, can I have that? And I realise he's still stood behind me. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I was like, just come here. Like, if you can't pay for us, like, I'll get it. Like,
Yeah.
but don't stand behind me in the line when I'm still, like, it was just bare awkward. I was thinking,
Like you're with someone, like just be together and order and
yeah, like, I'll get it. Like, it's not a
It's
thing.
fine,
It's not
it's
a
fine.
seeing each other. It's
Yeah.
not a thing that I'll get it. But let's not pay separately at Nando's, bro. So my order comes out and yours comes out 10 minutes later. Like, let's just order together.
Order together, like, and then split it another time.
I just couldn't cope.
I tell you what it is, like the logic of things, like sometimes to make things less awkward makes me end up like having like a little stress outburst because I'm just like the logic in that thinking I would be fuming like if that
That's
was
what I'm like.
We should have had that
as well.
conversation before we went up.
Yeah,
Why are you making me
100%.
step forward? I'm stepping forward like I'm ready to order, and he still stood behind me. And I'm like, what the hell is going
Just
on?
awkward, innit?
Yeah.
Like
more
you
you
said,
say,
the
you
logic
stood
on it.
behind
It's
it.
just
Yeah,
like
like,
sometimes guys go like that though. Like,
Another date I had is I went.
See, you're coming out with
Yeah,
all of them now.
I've got plenty. Don't worry. Let's be honest, my dating history is an absolute joke. Like everyone could write a book on it. But yeah, I went on a date with a guy once. Again, I already knew him, so I should have already seen so many red flags. But anyway, he didn't live in Swindon, so I drove to where he lived, and so I'd made a journey as well, like long for me.
Yeah.
This was years ago as well, so I was quite young. Obviously, you know, to make a journey like that's an
So your
expense.
effort was like 10-10
My effort was
straight
10-10.
away.
the fact that you're already making the mileage to see
And
him.
I'm putting
stuff,
petrol in my
yeah.
car to come see you, bruv. So let's be ready. Anyway, went to a bar and I'm waiting, and he turns up with his friend.
No.
What?
Sorry, is this a
So
group date? Because is there another girl coming, or is this just?
Third wheel.
Are we?
I put it on his mate.
I said, I literally said there and then, I said,
That's a sick
why?
idea.
I literally said, why did you bring your friend? And he was like, oh, we were just out and we just come here. I was like, well, I'm going to be going home. Have a good night.
So
And
it
I
just showed. Well, that's good because that shows that he
Yeah.
was just like knew you were coming, but just like was like, oh, I'm out with my mate. Oh yeah, you can just come
Yeah, you
along.
can just
like,
come.
You're like, come mate.
I
like,
thought
don't
at least
worry
tell your
about
mate
it.
to go.
I got
Like
driven this way to go out for drinks with you and your friend. I could have gone out for drinks with my friends back in Swindon, mate.
No,
thing
I
is, a
just
lot of
think
people
that's
can't
rude.
drink
I
home.
think
yeah,
that's
it's
rude.
rude. I think a lot of people go.
Not even to text either first and be like, oh, by the way,
By
I'm
the
with
way,
my
my
friend.
This is the
Come in.
thing. It's communication, isn't it?
You've
Like,
got a phone. We're not living in 1960. You could text me and say, I'm with my mate.
But he didn't want to because he was just
No.
straight going to bring him, wasn't he? So
So I was just like, no, I'm going home.
no, thank you.
Yeah. Lessons learnt from these kind of things, though, you know, like you have to set that standard, and that's why I think I'm a bit more like Mitchell will call me bougie, but I'm not bougie. I've
You're not
got a
bougie.
standard
We all have
that it's just like
standards.
I've been through so many situations. I've been with a guy that wouldn't pay for anything. Like I remember
Exactly, yeah.
I was
We've
with
all been
someone
there.
and
We've
I
all
booked us
been
a
there.
holiday to go away. and it was like a birthday present or something.
Shut up, Mitchell. Just chimes in.
Mitchell thinks I'm a class A prick because I've just put up with this shit for like 10 years.
I've been telling her, man.
Yeah, but I paid for this holiday, and I remember giving it to him for his birthday, and I was like, "Oh my god, we're going on holiday," and he was like,
"Wow,
I don't have the spending money." And it was literally like, "You ungrateful shit! Like I've paid."
You're fucking lying.
No, I'm not lying. And he turned around and he was like, "I don't have the spending money," and I was like,
"That was the first thing he said."
Yeah, he was like, "Thank you so much, but."
What did you do then?
We went on holiday.
And you what? Provided him with spending money?
I paid for the spending money. That's what I mean.
Now you were young. It's fine.
She bought him presents for coming on holiday with her. What she paid for? I bought him dinner.
Lol. I'm such a mum.
See, I never knew you.
It's
naughty, Chella.
That's what I mean though. I've just had, like, I've literally landed on my feet now. I've got, you guys know that Cedar's brilliant.
Yeah.
But I've earned that.
I think we've all learned from our exes, and we like, and we just know what we want. And then, because people say to me like, "Oh, your list is a bit high," I'm like, "No, it's fucking not. It's what I deserve."
I know that I'm a catch. I don't need you to be coming up really short on what I can offer. Like
short on change, literally.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, like you. I know what I can offer, and if you can't offer that match back in some kind of tendencies or behaviours or characteristics, 100%. Then I'm sorry, but you're not for me. There's a billions of people in this world. You think I'm going to settle for somebody in this tiny town that can't offer me what I need? Like, it's just not going to happen.
No, I completely get that.
And everyone says to me now, like, "Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky." I'm like, yeah, I fucking earned these points to get to this stage now because I put up with so much shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I literally, one of my relationships, and this is just laughable, but we split up because I was on holiday with my friend, and this person didn't ever like drink alcohol or didn't like anything like that.
I find that a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fine. If that's your thing, like that's fine. I put up with it for a very long time. He didn't drink or whatever, which is cool. But then I went on holiday, and then when I got back, we bumped into this person in the shop, and they were like, "Oh, it was really nice to see you in Suju," and I was like,
"Sorry, what?"
But I just didn't say anything. I thought, stay calm. Inside, I'm thinking, what do you mean in Suju? Like, this guy wouldn't even go for dinner with me in a pub because there was alcohol around an image. Like, it was wild. Wouldn't even go to the pub for dinner. So I was just like, okay, we're not going to go to the pub for dinner, but you're going to go out and, go to Suju of all places, like the one that's open until 6 a.m. with a sticky floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's your choice.
You have to be messy to be in there in the first place.
And not only that, but this person had bought them a drink. So they drank alcohol in this place. Anyway, long story short, my brothers then sent me a picture of him in Suju. Obviously, they have the photographer, innit?
Yeah.
So there's pictures in Suju.
Oh,
so one of my brothers sent me this picture and was like, "I swear that's him." And I was like, "Right, that's actually him." Because he said, "Nah, I went to pick someone up." He didn't drive, but he went to pick someone up from there.
So basically, fabricated a story.
He said he was waiting outside. No, he didn't go in there. He was waiting outside. So I was like, okay, cool. So I just left it because this was me back in the day. Like, okay, no
you didn't
worries.
Think anything of it, did
tunnel
you?
vision, nothing's happening. My life is perfect. It's a fucking shit
Someone
show.
told me. I've asked him. He's told me no.
Yeah, he's told me no. It's fine. He was just outside. But
I
anyway,
could just never be like that. Like, I think
I have to question.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
So my brother sent me this picture now. I was like, yeah, like he's in Suju, probably in the garden. Like he's having the best time of his life. And I was like, okay, cool. So I thought, I'm not going to raise this over message because like it's easy to get out of that, isn't it?
Oh, in person, so much better.
So I thought, screenshot the image, went over to his house and was like,
bring the fire.
Can I just ask you something? And I just really want you to be honest with me because I've given you this opportunity to be honest and you haven't.
Go on.
So if you lie to me now, this is like game over. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, I didn't go, you're a fucking psycho, like why do you always make up this shit? And I was like,
just let him react,
I was
right?
Like, well, there's just this funny story, and
I love that attitude that you bring to me. You know the truth.
This is you in the garden, and do you know what you said, girls? That's not me. Sorry, I know what you look like. I know what you look like. And he literally said that to my face and said, "That's not me." And I literally had to have a little word with myself to say,
like, calm.
You need to leave now, Chelsea, and never return.
Dude,
and
this is the thing. You know when you're getting blatantly lied to, and you just want to like.
But he was getting so angry because I'd caught him out, and he was like literally to a point where he was just red in the face. He was just so angry, and I just thought like. You need to leave now, Chelsea, and this is like if somebody can literally say to you, that's not me, when you're showing them an image of themselves.
Yeah, but you really
have to check yourself.
You know the mad thing is that there would be plenty of girls out there that'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was me. That was me for such a long time. And I thought, I think this is probably where it ends, because like I'm not stupid. Like I can't convince myself that this picture of you isn't you. I'm sorry, but I have to say, I think it's definitely you. And it even tried to name someone that we both knew, and he was like, "That's not me. That's so and so." And I was like, "It's not. I can see."
So did you like leave?
I left, and I've seen him probably once since passing in the street, and that's it. And I left, and I just left. And
good.
Full disclosure, it definitely was him.
Was it you that sent the pic?
It was one of my other brothers, but literally, it couldn't have been more blatant that it was him, and it was just like. But this is this is what I said about breakups. Like,
good for your composure though, because I probably, if that was like a boyfriend of mine, I would have like thrown my phone. I don't want to sound bad here, but you just out of reaction, you'd be like,
I would have lost my shit.
I think I just come to the point of
I'd be like, what?
That's the thing. I think I was just so mind blown that he was actually saying it wasn't him. I was just like, what is wrong with you?
Like you was taken back. Like,
please go to the mirror, put your hand on your chest, and repeat 3 times, I am tapped. Because you cannot tell me that is not you.
I know.
That's you. So I literally...
Guys are wild though. Some guys are just wild.
Some people...
It's the lying. It's the blatant lies.
That's what I'm saying. They're wild.
Like, I remember...
I've had an ex before where they have told some other girl that they were moving to Bristol. And so I literally... I used to be...
a full-blown lie. Like, there was like so much in it. All of my relationships
have had literally 0 trust, and I've been a phone checker. Hands up. Like,
really?
If none of us have been a phone checker, I commend you.
No, I have.
I've done it once. Yeah, but I checked the phone. I knew something was going on. And they'd messaged this girl and they said, "Oh, I'm moving to Bristol." So I was like, "Are you?" Okay. So I asked them and they're like, "Oh yeah, I think I might be." I was like,
"Thanks for telling me."
Yeah, but it's not. It's all just like
mind games. Or...
I don't know. It's to like show off, but like who are you showing off to? Some random person.
I don't get why moving to Bristol is anything to show about anyway.
Oh yeah,
moving to Bristol,
my relationships have been a joke, guys. Absolute joke. I could literally go on all day. We'd be sat here for hours and nobody's got that time.
Oh my god, no! But I will never forget the time where this is kind of like a little bit of a like crazy moment for us. Okay, right?
Crazy moment.
So, previously, one of my old relationships, I had a message like, "Oh yeah, I've got to go out of town for this thing for work, blah blah blah." So I'm like, right, okay.
Oh god, I know where this is going.
So I'm in my friend's car. We're just, when you used to do the rounds around town.
Yeah, do a cruise,
stuff, like,
love a cruise.
Back in the day, and I could swear like I seen his car. So it was one of those ones like, oh, I'll quickly go around the back of here, and we've got to go into like, so this is like county ground, so where everyone used to obviously chill.
Yeah.
And literally, we pull up, and he's got a girl in the car. Literally got a girl in the car, said he's not in Sweden,
must have felt.
yet he is blatantly there. So we literally pull up in front of him, like, and he is literally like, who's that? And he literally sees me, and then he literally fucking drives off. Right, bearing in mind he's driving a Mercedes, right? My friend is driving a Ford Ka.
Oh, she was at the time as well, wasn't she?
And we was trying to fucking chase him, but we're going down all these back roads, like all this, like he knows all these back roads and that, like basically turning, because I want to see who the fuck this is in the car.
Yeah.
When you're trying to care about anything else,
I was like,
then you see your partner with another girl as well, like
100%.
Caught that red-handed.
And we went into full blown. I was like, go down there, go down there, go down there. We was going down all these back roads and that, and then it got to a point where we nearly crashed. So it got a bit like dangerous, and like my friend was just like, look, we can't, like, I can't keep up with him, kind of thing. And then it literally got until like about half an hour later, and then all of a sudden I started getting calls from him then, because he must have dropped this bitch off, and then obviously come straight back round, and then like wanted to talk to me about it, and I was just, I have never been so like angry. I remember smashing my phone on the floor, like all sorts. Like
you just lose all sense of reality because you just
I didn't
angry.
know genuinely who I was as a person when I was in the relationship.
No,
with this person.
you lose yourself.
They made me go like absolutely like crazy to a certain degree, and made me feel like I was the one that was cheating.
Yeah.
Yet they was always constantly up to something.
It's
or I'd catch them
gaslighting.
out, or
Absolute gaslighting.
I think we all had a relationship like that.
But back then, I never really
say.
thought about it like that. I just thought to myself like, oh, like why are they doing this to me? Like I just didn't think. And then it got to a point where I was just like, no,
constantly lying to you,
and making you feel like you're deranged because you're angry about something that you're quite rightfully angry about.
Yeah.
And let's be honest,
but they make you feel some type of way, like oh, that was my friend, or this was this, and I'm like, nah.
But you have to remember, and this is like a lesson that I've taught myself, is that people might say to me like, well, you should be fine with that. But if I'm not fine with that, then that's on me. You could tell me you should be fine with that, but I'm my own person. If I'm not fine with it, I will leave. Like,
100%.
I don't sit by your standards, I sit by my own. So if I think something's weird, or I don't like it, or it makes me feel uncomfortable, you best believe I'm out that door.
Because a lot of people put up with things and
like,
they're not even comfortable putting up with it, and like it's just not good.
I definitely feel like with that
relationship
I put up with so much that I always said to myself prior that I would never put up with any of that, and I put up with all of it, like with that one person. I even got to a point where like there was one, like I was going through this was the person that I went through their phone, so I went through his phone, and like there was these messages from this person, and he fucking turned around to me and tried to tell me it was his cousin. I was like, oh, you're fucking dumb, like I'm obviously not going to believe that. So I called the number and I was like, who are you? Like literally, who the fuck are you? She's like, oh, I'm so and so, and I was like, and why are you talking to him for? And then she's just like, oh yeah, well, we've actually met at this time. And that's it. I just literally hung up the phone. I just dropped the phone and I just walked the hell out. I was just like, I can't deal with this situation.
Do you know how many times girls have messaged me about my ex-boyfriend, but I'm not with him anymore, and they're saying like, because obviously he's crazy, and then they're messaging me about it, and I'm just like, I'm so glad this ain't me no more.
This is the thing, like, it's hard, isn't it? When you break up with someone, obviously everyone goes through the stage of being upset, and it doesn't matter how toxic that relationship is. Like, you have to give and take. Like in any relationship, there's always good and bad. You can't sit there and say, I've been with this person, it was awful, otherwise you wouldn't have stayed with them. There's obviously good things that you take from each relationship.
I think with a breakup, you can define it as that it's not necessarily a failed relationship, but that you do grow from it, and then you learn lessons from it. So it doesn't necessarily
take into your next relationship.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh my god, this has failed, and you should be ashamed that this relationship didn't work out. It's just like, cool, it's just not meant to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and like you get better for the next relationship.
I feel like it can set you up for like to be able to set boundaries for your next relationship.
Oh, 100%. Like obviously, referring back to the very first podcast, I got a mortgage from after having the motivation from a bad relationship.
It definitely teaches you lessons, and like I say, like there's good and bad things you take from each relationship. One of my polls was, would you or have you ever returned to an ex after a breakup?
Right.
And like, I think for me, I have been in relationships that have been very on and off. So not on and off to the point where we break up and then we get back together and then we break up, but like where it's been really shit, but I just continue in it.
Yeah,
but
like
when
you
I
have those situations where you're like, oh, I can't take anymore, but then you're still taking it.
So that holiday situation that I mentioned, I still remained with that person. That was really ungrateful and shitty thing to do. But I stayed with that person, but we didn't break up.
Yeah.
Whereas I get to the point where I hit that, so that point for me was like is this you? And they said no. But when I've hit that point, you best believe I will not go back.
Right, okay.
I've hit that point and I'm just like, and I've always had it where relationships have ended, I've dealt with it very immediately, so I might cry for a day and be really sad, but then I'm okay with it. Whereas because people that I've been with take a couple of weeks to be like, oh, this is sick, that's amazing, and then they message you like, oh, I really miss, like, no, I dealt with this 2 weeks ago, and I'm not on that same page. You might be heartbroken now, but I've dealt with this shit, and I'm not going back. I think everybody deals with it
differently
in different ways, but I just hit that point and I think
we all got different love languages and stuff, and that's how, like you're saying, like they're dealing with it a bit later than you and stuff, and like as people we do deal with things differently. Personally, I wouldn't. Look, knowing my exes, I personally wouldn't get back with any of them.
Yeah.
Like anyone that I wouldn't mind getting. Say for example, I was maybe seeing someone and they got official, and then we ended on good terms because maybe they were just travelling or something.
And then you ended up going out with them.
Like that's a bit different, I think. But it just depends on the situation. But personally, my exes, no.
Have you ever ended on good terms with anyone?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, good few. I want to say I normally only end up on good terms with people when I end it.
Okay. Because in my experience, and I know that people do, I know it exists that people can end on good terms, and that's brilliant for everyone that can. I just find the relationships I've been in have been so toxic that when they end, it just becomes
abruptly.
hateful.
Right,
and I'm always the type of person, I would like it to be civil, because I don't like to hold hate in my heart. I just think it's so pointless. But other people make it very difficult to do that.
Yeah, when they're holding on to certain things.
Yeah,
and
some people
like I know, or whatever, or. Yeah.
And from friends and stuff, I know that they've had similar experience that people have to end it toxic so they don't return. Like,
and
like that dead end.
Yeah,
they want to just not.
Like, there has to be a reason to not go back.
Like, I feel like some people that I've ended it with maybe didn't end good at the time, but then later on in life we've been fine.
Kind of been mutual.
There's only one relationship that would never be like that, personally, for rightfully so reasons. I seen my ex-boyfriend the other day, and he gave me a lift home, and we were just we visited old times and stuff, and like it was like we had never ended on a bad note. So
that's really good though.
Yeah, and I think you not be best mates with your ex, but you can be
mates with. Yeah,
you could be cool with them.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, they know a part of you that not many people are going to know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think sometimes you can look at breakups and relationships always from a bad point of view when things end. But
I think it depends on whether you can let things go or not as well. Like, if you've had that certain closure in your relationship where you kind of like both did stuff or whatever, and then you've kind of like been mutual afterwards, then like there is no grudges to be held.
I just think life goes on. You don't need to be like. I think what it is, sometimes we try to make, if we feel maybe a type of way, a therapist once told my friend, like, we try to make someone like the bad person. Don't get me wrong. There is people who are bad at, like, the ones who gaslighted us, and they unfortunately are the bad person. But let's think about normal relationships that nothing really went that wrong.
I don't have many of them.
I've literally got like, to be fair, I've actually got a couple of normal relationships, but yeah, like, we try to make them out the bad person. Oh, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. But then what we said earlier, like, what good did they do as well? And it's just like, we don't need to make everyone's the bad guy. We're all human. We're all flawed.
100. So yeah, with my longest relationship that I've had, I feel like it's gone from us having to build that relationship together to us now trying to build a relationship where we're living together, but we're not actually together.
That must be
difficult.
So difficult.
Yeah, so it's
because sometimes even if you get to that mutual ground that you're talking about, you need that space apart to be able to.
And you're not getting out of each other's
separate it.
Space.
Yeah,
we're not getting out of each other's personal space, so it's very hard at the moment to like just do everyday things.
Yeah,
just do the simplest of things, and like even when it does come to our son Mavani, like we I feel like since we've not been together, we're like on the same page less. So it sounds really bad, but
because
like,
you don't have the same priorities anymore, really, because you're both individuals. Like, you're not
sort of thing. So we're just together. Trying to figure out like a pattern, like a safe space for us all to be in.
I commend you for that though, because that is really, really hard. And not only that, you both still have respect for each other to have that safe home and like and to be able to
it's the best thing for us all at the
100%.
moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine like
you've got to have
not waking up to Mavani every day.
You've got to have a certain level of maturity to like deal with that.
100%.
Yeah.
Me, I'd be petty whap. Anything, I'd be it would just wind me up.
Listen. I like, obviously, especially since COVID, like it's.
I know. Oh
like, God. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people have established, like, in this COVID period, that they're like not for their partners and things like that.
Some people have been quite flaky during COVID, and everyone's acting a bit out and stuff. But I understand, because like obviously this is the first time we've ever been through a pandemic and stuff. It's taken its toll on everyone, not being able to do. Obviously,
we already established sort of this before COVID, so it's even worse. Like the fact that COVID happened and we just had to be like on top of each other practically like every day. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard when you're in a relationship,
let alone when you're not. So
relationships aren't easy at all. Like.
So I must admit it's been hard. It's been a struggle, but I'm still here. So
I've got an interesting question. Out of all your relationships, do you think like you have the same relationship twice?
That is a very good question. No, but I think some of my relationships have had the same traits where I've allowed things to happen which I know are wrong and make me unhappy, but I've allowed it anyway.
Like the red flags things like early on, but then you've just like kind of like just been like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, and I feel like I've been a people pleaser. So I am a similar person in my past relationships. No, 100%. But I've lost who I was as a person. So I almost mould into my partner. So like I like the things that they like,
mirror that,
or I will do the things that they want to do.
Bit of a chameleon,
and I'll miss out on the things that I want. So like I'm really outgoing.
Oh, I love Origin.
But I'm really outgoing. I like to be around loads of people. Anyone that knows me, I like people around my house. I really like to be out with my friends. My family are huge to me, so any opportunity I'll be around my family. And in any of my relationships, I've not done any of those things. I've like morphed into what they like to do and sacrificed all those things that I like to do. And now it feels so weird to be in a relationship where
it's not like that.
I can go out with my mates and not think and not think about like, oh God, I better go home because that person like
very refreshing for you.
No, it's so odd to me. Like I'll text you like, I'll be home at this time. It's like, you don't need to text me what time you'll be home. Like, it's
he's
fine.
not basically he's not expecting you home. Like he just wants you to have a good night.
He's just like, let me know if you want picking up. Like literally, it's the same. Like it's
a
so
normal relationship.
Something normal,
very normal. I would say all my relationships have been different. I've got like first love. I've got like the situationship. You know, have you ever had like it's not ever been maybe a relationship, but it's like very serious to the point where it's almost like a relationship. Like it's almost, but it's like a lot of emotions are involved and
but it's not actually official.
And then
I've definitely been in that.
Then
situation.
I've had a gaslighter. Then I've had like more of a normal relationship. So none of my relationships have been the same. It's all been like completely different people in that sense.
I must admit, I definitely had a mentally abusive relationship.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then
a couple of them.
I had someone that was a bit more physical with me, and then ended up going into like a mental, like someone that was mentally abusive. But like I thought that they were like just completely different. Because they weren't hurting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought because he's not putting his hands on me, like this is okay and that. But then like I was literally like,
sometimes it's worse.
Why am I putting up with this shit? Like,
sometimes it's worse.
Mental abuse was actually a lot worse.
Feel like you are not okay when you like you're a really strong-minded woman. So to be made to question your own thoughts, that is really damaging long term.
100%.
I'm not saying physical abuse isn't. It 100%
no, but with
is.
the physical abuse, I know this sounds really strange, but I was able to just be like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm not letting someone put their hands on me.
You can't have someone, and you also, it's hard to differentiate if you're being hit or pushed or any of those physical things. You know that's abuse.
Yeah.
You know it is.
Yeah.
But when somebody is toying with your mental state,
you question your own sanity.
And you think, is this abuse? Like I remember reading a poster once at work, and it was like, are you like these like tick box things? It's like you may be in an abusive relationship, and I was like, dude, oh my god!
I think I did the same thing as well. Like even though I knew what it was wrong, you have to convince yourself, and then you go on like the site, and then you're like, is this happening? Is this happening? Is this? And then you're ticking the list.
You're like googling like. What is an abusive
even
relationship?
Even though you know what an abusive relationship is.
I know that I'm not happy. That's all that really matters. One of the questions I asked, which is a little bit like separated to all of this, but I think it's an interesting question.
Next question.
Could you ever be in an open relationship with your partner?
Yes. I know that sounds bad.
Yes. I very much sit in the no category for those wondering. I absolutely couldn't. There's no way I could be. And let's just, for example, the percentages on that were 93%. They couldn't, but there was a 7% of people that are happy to do that.
That was probably me.
And then I say open relationship. You both did. Yeah, you both did. But there was others amongst you. And obviously, by open relationship, I mean having a relationship with someone, but allowing them to potentially sleep with other people, giving them a weekend pass.
So I just think the communication needs to be dead ass clear. Like it needs to be like the fact to even have an open relationship, the communication is spot on. Like you love that person, you love them so much that you're like, you know what, if you've got other needs and that, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't like it straight away.
I was just about to say that.
I would like
think
it more.
There's a certain boundary in which like you need to build a foundation first. I just can't ever envision
myself being okay with it. Do you not think that you'd feel jealous?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it goes both ways though. So I'd be going to get mine too. Like, so I always wanted you.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I get. Thing is, I am very greedy, so I hear what you're saying as well. Because like, if you love someone, of course you could never imagine sharing that person. I just think it depends who it was.
Yeah.
If I was completely and utterly in love with someone, I probably wouldn't want to. But if I was sort of like in love with someone, but maybe. Like, I don't know, let's just say they were a millionaire, right? And they were like, look, I've got needs, right?
I'm sorry. Basically, if
they were a millionaire, they were like, look, I love you, you're like my main, you're like the woman I want to be with the rest of my life, however I've got needs. I'd be like, you know what, fine, just go ahead.
My question is, why am I not fulfilling those needs? I can't think of anything worse
but some people are freaks out here.
So people just have.
I just can't deal with that.
Someone can still love you to pieces, but like, it's not for everyone. So I'm not about the people who are more a bit
open
to that idea. They love you with everything that they got, but they just want to have that little, like you said, free pass and that. Like, and as long as I think you have a bit of communication, as long as it's
I'm not saying
honest.
I'm 100% not saying it's wrong. I think it's whatever works for anyone.
What's it, Will Smith and like
Jada?
Yeah.
I don't think that was a really good open relationship.
No, but it was like
Jada, and then they said it was an open relationship. But we can use that example. I actually know someone who has an open relationship with their partner.
Okay.
And it works for them, and they sometimes explore together, and like that is completely up to them. I just think, for me personally, I couldn't handle that together or apart.
And there's also a risk of them potentially liking the other person that is brought into
that
the
is the
relationship.
risk. Yeah,
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah,
where somebody has had a open relationship or a relationship where there's regular threesomes, and what happened was the person left their long-term partner for the person that they were having threesomes with.
Okay.
and there was other reasons among that.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
but
that's what I'm saying. There is
a
risk
isn't
of
there? Yeah.
kind of opening that door to Pandora's box and not knowing what's beyond that. And it's like you said, I don't know.
Yeah.
You say like, I'm cool. I'm up for this open relationship, right? And you're in a long-term relationship where you love that person. You don't know what happens once you open that door and how you're going to feel about it. So if you've opened that door and then you decide, I actually don't like this, it's already happened.
Yeah, for me,
you can't erase it.
For me, it definitely would be. I don't think I would do it with every boyfriend, but maybe if I had a certain boyfriend and he had a certain lifestyle.
I just think if the situation come up, I
don't
think I would rule it out.
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, be completely against it. But I would have to really weigh everything out. I just wouldn't be closed off to it.
Okay. I still 100% disagree with my but that's fine.
The beauty of the world.
This is the whole point. Like, everyone is different, and I just think
we're not always going to agree.
And that's the whole point. Like, we're never going to always agree on things. It just I just couldn't handle that. I'm quite a jealous person when it comes to something like that.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't be able to comfortably know, being led at home in my bed, that he's out there sleeping with someone else, and I'm just like, okay, he'll tell me about it tomorrow. Like, I don't even.
I just think you both would have to be into it. Like, you couldn't never be
100%.
For example, if you, not you personally, but say if another girl was in a relationship with someone who was like a guy who wanted an open relationship. But the girl was just going along with it to please the guy. That's not right, because then
eventually you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and there is like, obviously there's probably thousands of couples in this world that do that, and it works for them and brilliant, and probably some long-term marriages, like Jada said. It's the answer to having a happy marriage. Do you think you're going to be married to someone for that long and not want to do that? And obviously, I'm coming from I'm 28 or whatever.
It depends on what you're around though, isn't it? Like, they've got that lifestyle where like they've got everything.
But this is why. Can I just say this is why I mentioned the millionaire thing?
Yeah, because
when you're more rich, I think you almost get like, you're so used to a certain lifestyle that you almost get bored in a way, and then you're just like, what can I do to spice up my life? And then an open relationship is like almost the answer to that. It's a answer to that.
Spice things up and stuff. Yeah,
and like I just think they're both happy because they're both just got loads of money, and like, do you know what I'm saying? So if you've just got that lifestyle, it's probably more common, for sure.
We spoke a little bit earlier about lists and stuff. Like, what is on your list? Or like, if you don't have a list per se, I don't have a list. My main thing
for me is that I'm 30 years old now. I don't need to be dealing with guys that want to approach me to waste my time.
Yeah.
No time wasters.
Like, genuinely don't need that. If you're...
Would you date someone else who had other kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you?
I want to say before I had a child, that was one of my things. No, I wouldn't.
You have
I know that sounds really bad, but now that I
100%.
have a child, I'm like, why was I ruling these guys out? Like, do you know what I mean?
I would date someone if we're talking like just the list.
Yeah.
We don't know what happens when like maybe you meet the love of your life and he's got like 2 kids. We don't know, but I would say 1 kid I'd be cool with.
As soon as it's more than that, it's just too much. I just can't deal with it.
We've got friends who are stepmums to like lots of kids and stuff. And my mum, I've got a stepmum, and she had 3 kids to take on, and not take on, but to be in her life. So, and like when I see like their relationships and stuff, I'm like, oh well, they turned out fine. Like so, it's just like it can work. Like personally, I just think, if I had to choose my ideal situation, I would rather no kids.
Yeah.
But if there was 1 kid and the guy was at an appropriate age, or he'd have to be, because I'm 30, so yeah, if he was older than me and had 1 kid, I would understand that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you can't rule it out, can you?
No.
Okay, one of my final questions.
Da-da-da-da.
Obviously, I'm in a relationship. I love being in a relationship. Do you guys want...
You say that with a little bit more enthusiasm.
I love my relationship. No, I'm a person who likes to be in a relationship anyway. Of course, I've enjoyed my single time, and I think, you know, you have to enjoy that, and you have to be comfortable with your own company. I've said it before. You have to learn to be by yourself before you can be with someone else.
Okay, yeah.
But do you think that you would want to be in a relationship, or do you like being single?
So, I want to say a little something here, because I was talking to like my older girlfriend, and I was telling her my ideal situation is like sex once a week and go on really fun dates. She's like, babe, that's kind of like a relationship though. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, maybe I do want a relationship then.
What about you?
I want to say that obviously I'm not in a situation right this minute to be like going like out on dates and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like I've not been single for so long, like properly, like to just be out there, that I do just maybe want to go on a few dates.
You would probably
like
need to be single before
do you know what I mean?
go back out there.
Like, while.
I've already been single for a year, and I'm not saying that I want to be in any kind of relationship. I'm not desperate. I'm not that desperate.
You're not searching for one.
Yeah, I'm not searching for a relationship, but if it naturally happened with the right person, absolutely, I would not.
This is what I'm saying.
out.
So I would just happily go about myself just as normal, and then if something was to organically happen, then I'm happy with that, and I'll go with the flow. But these guys that be messaging are fucking whack. So let's just
Took a little sweet break. Shout out Med's Music for the pick mix.
Gummy bears, cola bottles.
noise.
Bit of straws.
Get yourself down to Med's Music, hire the studio, get a free pick mix. Disclaimer, not for everyone.
Love that.
So before we wrap up, I just wanted to know if you guys have got your recommendation of the week, month.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Go?
So Netflix.
Netflix in general, or
No, I'm just saying Netflix.
I recommend Netflix and chill.
Okay. Netflix and chill.
for all your Netflix and chill needs, Mara's
Netflix.
giving you it.
New series on there, Upshaws.
Oh, I've not seen
The
that.
Upshaws.
I think it comes up on the like top 10.
Yeah. So it's on one of the top 10 at the moment. It is just that typical like black comedy, like.
Okay.
But I feel like it's actually a 12, but it's like. So there's a little bit of like swearing and stuff in it, but it's just your everyday, like, you know, living in your household, your mum and dad, your kids and stuff. It kind of reminds me of like My Wife and Kids, but it's
Or a bit like Everyone Hates Chris.
Yeah, but like it's a little bit more cutthroat.
Okay.
Like, it's a little bit more like raw, and you're like, oh,
It's got Mike Epps
damn.
in, doesn't
Yeah,
it,
Mike
though?
Epps
Okay.
is the main
Like,
person in it. He is hilarious, and yeah, he kind of like plays like a married, like obviously like he's married and they've got the kids and stuff, but yeah, they literally just, there's no boundary that they just don't go over. And
Yeah.
I find myself like literally on the floor crying like every single episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
to the
watch
point
that.
where like I've finished the series and I'm actually like just having it in the background. Like it's one of those ones like
It's just like easy
I
watching.
feel like,
I
yeah,
like things that are
100%.
easy watching.
And it doesn't matter whether you watch the 10th episode or the first episode.
I like that as
like,
well.
do you
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So if you miss a bit, it's not like it's not a hard watch. It's nice and easy going. Nice
Okay.
for a Sunday afternoon anyway.
I like that. Easy watching. Bit like the Prescription Podcast. Like and subscribe.
No.
What about you, Mills?
So basically, I came across this violinist, and his name's Brian King Joseph, but he covers popular songs, and it's a bit weird. Violin music, it just sounds a bit like Celtic, you know, like Irish tap dancing and that. It's a bit like.
I love your
but
little
like
example.
this kid, like it's kind of weird, yeah, because you don't when you think about like popular music and that, you forget that it can get covered by like saxophones or orchestra and things like that. And then this kid is just so talented. He's played the violin since he was like 4, and like he covers like really popular songs. And he was on like Britain's Got Talent and that, like
really?
America's Got Talent, I should say. Sorry, and I didn't even clock that's what he was on. I just found his music, and then I realised he was on it. And like he covers like Rockstar, you know, the baby Rockstar, but he's got it on like does it on violin obviously. And I find that a lot of these violinists, they record like music videos. And like, and they put themselves on YouTube and they get themselves out there, and then obviously like, but they're just covering popular music and that, and I don't know why, it just sounds so sick.
Yeah,
I do like it. What's it called when they do like they do it every year? It's like UK rap at the proms. Is it
like the orchestra?
Yeah, they
like,
do it orchestra.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called, but I like that. It's a sick vibe.
Yeah, like I love Lana Del Rey orchestra. Like I absolutely love it. The Weekend's good as well.
I don't know what you mean. I wouldn't ever listen to that like myself, but
like,
I
you
think
wouldn't seek it out, but necessarily.
I think you have to be in the mood for it. But I think, like you say, it's quite calming.
I don't know why. Like just lately, like I just find myself more drawn to like music like that, or like just instrumentals, or just sort of like old school music. Like I don't know what it is about kind of the music like nowadays. Like obviously there is a lot of good music and that. Like, we've got a lot more like younger people coming through.
I find it's just like very far and few between though. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you'll just get that like one banger, and then you'll be like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then it's a while before then you get.
It's hard though as well because we're not out. So like sometimes it's hard to find the vibe of a song, like a club banger.
Yeah.
Like
In
some songs that have
like,
come out. Like I don't think, I don't know, but J Hus brought out an album obviously the beginning of last year. And I don't think I've experienced that in a club yet, and I'm quite a big J Hus fan.
Yeah.
I've not heard his
like,
bangers in a club, like from his new stuff. So I can't really feel the full benefit of it. I can blare it in my car, I can blare it at home, but it's not the same as when you hear it in the club.
When you hear it in the club, and everyone is going fucking sick over that song.
Exactly.
Because it is a banger.
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
with
with
the
you.
violin cover, I think when you think about it really deeply, right? Like someone's playing the violin.
Strips it away, doesn't it? Strips
Like
it all away.
imagine if you learned like an instrument.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the talent behind that is insane.
Yeah, the fact that you can tell a song from just a violinist when there's
like,
multiple different like instruments and
like
stuff that would be used in their soundtrack.
Like actually playing the violin, learning all them strings and that, then to like convert it to a popular song, and then having like your own unique sound, and like that is a lot of grafting. Like you must be so
100%.
talented to be able to like, it's a God-given gift to be able to play an instrument like that, or to sing or to rap and stuff.
But to be doing it from the age of 4, like, you must be sick.
Exactly. I just thought when I come across it, I was a bit mesmerised by it. I was like,
I do wish I could like play an instrument or do something. Like Mitchell just took all the fucking talent on anything. I don't know. I probably wouldn't play anything. Well, I wish I could sing or something. If I had like, if you know when people say like, if you had a wish, like my wish would be if I could be musically talented, like if I could sing or something. Because I love to sing and I just can't.
So cute.
So love to sing, but like in the shower. Like
I literally.
It was
can't
funny because we were with like your family the other day, and then they were saying how like when you sing a Beyonce song, you think you sound like Beyonce when you sing.
Oh my god, yeah, and then the song cuts out and you're like,
when I'm in the car and if someone skips the tune and I'm did you not know I was just getting to the best bit there? Like my tone is perfect.
I remember actually you used to do that.
Yeah.
You always used to, because you would get an album and you'd rinse it to the point where you like, no, I don't want that song. No, I don't want that song. And I'd be like, I'll be in it, like singing it, and you'd be like, skip. I'm like,
sing, please. Yeah, I know. I still do that now. I rinse music to the point of where I can't hear it anymore.
I know.
I
do it. I'm very
if I hear a
guilty of
banger,
that.
like I'll play that banger every single day.
Like yeah.
You reel it up. Like,
Re-up, yeah, honestly, I play it.
Family knows.
Straight 20 times in a row.
Yeah, but I'm
I will listen to a
bad. My
song on
neighbours must
repeat if I
hate
love
me.
it.
They're probably thinking like, she's playing it again.
I need to
like,
listen to it until I know all the words, and then I I'll switch it off because I do not want to be caught in the rave, mouthing the words and coming up with the wrong.
And then you
words.
go away from the song, and then it comes on, then you actually know all the words from all the songs,
Exactly.
practicing it.
And then everyone's like, how do you know all the words? It's like, oh, just listen to it once. You don't live with me.
What is your thing?
Oh, my thing. I've got a couple of things actually, local and not local. So went to the cinema for the first time in like 5 years.
Wow.
Last week, it was weird. Like, obviously, you have to be socially distant, so you're like a couple of seats away from everyone.
Though.
But that's
It's perfect, mate. No one can sit next to you. You know when you're like in the cinema and I get a bit anxious, like, oh, nobody's gonna be. I want both the armrests. You know what I mean?
I used to hate sitting next to people I didn't want to sit next to.
Yeah, and they come and sit next to you, and then they've got
next to my
sweets or
friends.
popcorn or something. They're jamming it in your ear, and I just can't cope with
God,
it.
that's
You
your
don't like
hate.
The worst, yeah. If anybody does not know me, I hate the
On
sound
your
of people
list.
eating. Yeah, it's on my list. If you're a loud eater, CJ's so sweet though. Like he'll go in the kitchen and get a bag of crisps and like, don't worry, I'll eat them in the living room. I'm
Literally,
like,
I bet he's like this when
thank
he's
you.
around you, just like.
He doesn't eat around me. Like unless we're eating together, he will eat in a separate room. He's very kind.
That is hilarious.
Very kind. My brother, however, is less kind and will do it on purpose.
Because she's tapped, bruv. Like,
I am tapped, yes.
You don't even have to be loud. If she knows you're eating, that's enough.
I zone in. Like I just zone in.
I hear what you're saying. Because it's your pet hate, you zone into it a lot
It gets
more.
to me to the point where like I can feel my blood boiling. Like,
No, I'm
it's
with you.
so,
I'm
I
with
get
you.
so
I'm
angry.
so with you. Like I will literally be sat there like,
Yeah. I'm
are you
zoning in on it.
okay?
When
And
you
it's
clock
worse
it,
when you're with
Right,
people you don't know
there.
that well. Because if I'm with people I'm comfortable with, I'm like, do you have to eat next to me? If it's someone like, if I'm at work or something and then someone sits on the desk next to me and they open up a bag of nuts or something, I'm like,
Can you not?
like, are you okay? Anyway, point of the story is, I went to the cinema. We watched Judas and the Black Messiah. Sick film.
Yes.
No wonder Daniel Kaluuya won an Oscar because
Oh,
It was that good.
Yeah, it was
I
really
know
sick.
what
That's
you're
good
talking
though.
about.
Yeah, so that is my first thing. The second thing is I've been only recently today, but already I'm hooked and on recommendation from Mitch. It's a series on BBC iPlayer. I love BBC iPlayer lately. I don't know what it is.
It is good. It's got really good documentaries. Oh, there was actually one documentary that I watched that I
okay.
could have mentioned.
You can come
Have you
on.
mentioned it?
Yeah, mention
Okay. No.
Okay.
You mentioned it.
I think it's only a 3-episode series, isn't it, Mitch?
Oh, is
but
it?
It's called Time, and it's about like a British prison. I love, and everyone that watches will know that I love stuff that's like prison, police, drug, anything that's like criminal. Love it, revel in it. But I've only watched one episode, but I'm hooked already. So Time, BBC iPlayer. The third thing I wanted to say, I know I'm rinsing this, guys, but I just wanted to mention it. So last weekend I had a hen party for my friend's hen do, and we had such a sick day. But I just wanted to call out like all the local businesses that we use. So obviously Mama did my hair because she's my baby girl. So hair by Mara Mara did my
Love
hair.
it.
Had a spray tan by Beauty Chambers, which is Demi. She's absolutely lush in Swindon. So they gave me the glow up. And then we got there. We had Dreamy Events. They set up these like teepee tents and stuff. So we camped out overnight.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Big up
Pixie
Michelle.
Events. Yeah, Paige. She come and did loads of like amazing balloon arches and decoration, which was absolutely beautiful. Like it just looked so nice.
It did look stunning.
Yeah, it was,
looked
and so many people were like, "You look like
stunning.
you had the best time," and it was honestly, it just come together so well.
You want to relive it every weekend.
Yeah. Shanice Henderson, my girl, she's amazing, but she obviously did Machiavelli kitchen food and brought Punch and Jiggy cocktails, which
Love
by the
it.
way are lit.
Yeah.
Like you don't realise how strong they are
Until
you're
you've
drunk,
had a couple.
and then it's
Yeah.
like, rah, I'm actually waved. The cake was done by Katie's Cakery. It was lit. It was white chocolate and raspberry. And I'm telling you now, I've not tasted anything like
that's
that
my
for a very
favourite.
long time. It was
That's
so
my
nice,
favourite.
and it was so pretty. Super came, set the vibe. So Super DJ Twilight's sound systems. That was sick. Super. He was sick, and the vibe was amazing. Like, you know when you haven't been in a club for such a long time, you're not been able to dance.
100%. What that is exactly.
The
what
sun
we were
was
like.
shining.
Yeah.
He was hitting the bangers. I
Yeah.
have got to say though, he played all of my requests right at the end before he was about to go, and I almost cried because I was on a wave. But
He like you got a request and stuff. He just hits it at the right time. Doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like he can read the room and he knows exactly like.
he knows what music I like anyway. He knows I like
Yeah.
to. He knows I like to rave. He knows that I love Bashman and stuff. So it was amazing. Like the vibe was just set. So I just want to shout out every single local business that made that Saturday lit, because we've been in COVID and locked up for so long that day I proper needed
It
it,
was
and
mental,
everything
yeah.
was just on point. And the fact that all of those businesses are from Swindon,
Yep.
is just amazing. So like, big up yourselves, everybody that contributed to Laura's hen. I think I've mentioned everyone. If I haven't, then I'm so sorry, but I'm on the spot. So, what was your documentary?
Oh no, I was just gonna. I don't know, should I mention it or save it for
Yeah,
next time? The Joey Essex documentary.
Oh my
Briefly.
God, I
No,
watched
no,
that
no,
too.
definitely.
How brave he was.
Yeah.
Like, because he clearly had been struggling with it for so long, And
I feel like he had so many opportunities to do something like that earlier, and he obviously couldn't.
He felt ready to do it then, and just someone obviously of his platform, of his age, of his personality, to be able to kind of talk about that and very openly and honestly, completely like, what a guy.
Thank you everyone for joining us again. It means loads. So check out all of our episodes. We will have a new one for you soon. The girls are back. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.